Okay, so today we're going to use a really simple story to teach a super powerful lesson about investing. We're going to talk about how to find a little bit of calm in the middle of all the chaos of the financial markets and how to build a strategy that's going to stay steady for the long haul.
I mean, have you ever looked at the financial news? If you have, you know this feeling. It is just a constant storm of information, and it can feel totally overwhelming. So the real question is, how in the world are you supposed to stay calm through all that?
All right, so to get to the bottom of this, our story kicks off with something called the noisy news storm. And honestly, it's a perfect way to think about what it feels like to follow the market every single day. Just imagine the news as these little creatures, and each one is designed to get a reaction out of you, right? You've got one screaming, the market's going up, another one screaming, no, it's going down. They create this feeling of constant urgency, this relentless drumbeat of information. It's chaotic, it's loud, and it's all designed to make you feel like you have to do something right now.
But here's the thing. What if you didn't have to get stuck in the middle of all that chaos? In our story, our hero, Luna, she gets this tool to help her deal with all the noise. She's given something called the calm cloud.
So what is this calm cloud? Well, it's not some complicated financial gizmo. It's really just a way of thinking. A metaphor, you could say. It's all about having the ability to kind of mentally float above all that day-to-day noise so you can see the real big picture.
And that right there, that's the core idea. Look, the financial world is meant to be loud. Every piece of news feels so urgent, so critical. But here's the secret that long-term investors really get. Most of it just isn't. You really don't need to change your whole game plan for every single headline.
So, okay, what actually happens when you get on that calm cloud and float above all that noise? Well, you start to see the big picture.
From way up there, you stop looking at things in terms of minutes or hours or even days. You start to see the bigger timeline. You're looking at years, then 5 years, then decades. And that is the timeline that really matters for growth. It's not a sprint at all. It's a marathon, a really, really long one.
And this is where Luna has her aha moment, and it's a big one. When you zoom way out, you see that the overall trend for really solid investments has historically been upward. I mean, yeah, sure, there are bumps, there are dips, there are even some really scary drops along the way, but they're just little blips on a much larger path that's climbing up.
Okay, so once you really grasp this long-term view, it totally changes how you look at the daily news. It's like you can finally start to just ignore the daily waves.
I mean, seriously, think about it. Some company misses its earnings goal by like a penny, and boom, the stock drops. A politician says something weird, and the market gets all jittery for a day. These are the news waves. They make a ton of noise, a lot of splashing around, but you know what? They're often gone just as fast as they showed up.
This really gets at the key difference, right? On one hand, you've got the short-term news, which is all over the place. It's volatile, it's fleeting, it's like trying to predict the weather 5 minutes from now. And on the other hand, you have long-term growth. That's gradual, it's steady. It's more like watching the seasons change, slow but powerful.
So here's the most important takeaway from all this. Trying to react to every single one of those waves is just exhausting. And honestly, it usually hurts you more than it helps. Most of these daily little dramas has zero impact on where your investments are going to be 10 or even 20 years from now.
So instead of getting distracted by all those waves, patient investors do something different. They look through what our story calls a time window. They're focused on what's really creating growth over the long haul. You know, are good companies getting bigger, like a small bakery expanding its business? Are they inventing cool new things like a robot lab? Real value, that gets built over time. It's like a tiny seed that slowly but surely grows into a huge forest. And that right there is the whole secret. Patience isn't just sitting on your hands and waiting. It's an actual strategy. You're giving your investments the one thing they need more than anything else to really mature and create value, and that's time.
All right, let's wrap this all up and look at the real actionable wisdom Luna figures out here. This is the true power of patience.
So Luna's guide basically boils all of this down into 3 super simple steps. First, you hold for years, not days. Simple. Second, when that news storm is raging, you make a choice to stay calm. And third, you gotta trust the process. Just let time do its thing. It sounds almost too simple, but in practice, it is so powerful.
And this is where Luna ends up. And it's really the goal for any of us who want to invest for the long term. It's not like you suddenly can't hear the world anymore. You still hear all the noise. But the thing is, it just loses its power over you.
It doesn't shake you. It doesn't make you panic because now you have perspective.
And that brings us to our final thought, a question for you. Because this whole lesson, it's not just about money or investing, is it? It really applies to so much in life. So take a second and think about it. What's the noise in your world that you can choose to just float above today? What are those daily dramas you can ignore so you can see that bigger, longer path ahead for yourself?